On the morning of May 16, 2008, a quiet, upper-middle-class neighborhood in Noida woke up to a nightmare. Inside one of these apartments, 14-year-old Aarushi Talwar was discovered murdered in her own bed. The family's live-in domestic worker, Hemraj, was missing. Suspicion immediately fell on him, a theory that held until the very next day, when his decomposing body was found hidden behind a locked door on the apartment's own terrace. Within hours of the initial discovery, the apartment was completely overrun. Family friends, neighbors, and the media swarmed the flat, walking freely through the rooms and trampling the crime scene before any serious forensic work could begin. The human toll of the years that followed is captured in the jail diary of Aarushi's father, Dr. Rajesh Talwar. He and his wife's Nupur, both dentists, eventually spent their 25th wedding anniversary in a prison cell, grieving their only child, while standing accused of her murder. When investigators strip a crime scene of its physical integrity through negligence, they create a vacuum of truth. In the criminal justice system, fiction rapidly fills that void. The local police response during the first 24 hours was a cascade of basic errors. Officers allowed untrained personnel to examine Aarushi's body and step directly over bloodstains without utilizing yellow tape or protective gloves. Then came the terrace door. Despite a bloodstained handle right in front of them, investigators concluded Hemraj had simply fled. They left the door locked and unexamined for a full day. That 24-hour delay allowed severe decomposition to set into Hemraj's body, destroying delicate medical evidence. During that wait, the apartment floors were swept and washed, permanently erasing any potential blood trail connecting the two victims. This complete dereliction of duty fractured the structural foundation of the investigation before anyone even realized they were dealing with a double homicide. Despite the ruined crime scene, investigators did recover vital physical evidence. Inside Hemraj's moving quarters, they found a Sula wine bottle and a Kingfisher beer bottle, both bearing traces of blood. Out on the terrace, near where Hemraj's body was discovered, investigators lifted a bloody palm print stamped directly onto the wall. This logic chart maps out the forensic data recovered from the scene. Laboratory analysis revealed the blood found on those bottles and the wall was type AB. We can cross-reference that against the household: Aarushi, Hemraj, Rajesh, and Nupur. It was a match to exactly 0. This data demands one conclusion: a biological stranger, a third party, was present and bleeding during the killings. Instead of utilizing this DNA evidence to hunt for an unknown suspect, the investigating agencies quietly set the science aside to focus their gaze entirely on the family. Under massive public pressure, the Central Bureau of Investigation adopted a speculative honor-killing theory. The narrative claimed the parents discovered Aarushi and Hemraj in a compromising position and murdered them in a sudden rage. This theory lacked a conclusive murder weapon and an eyewitness placing the parents in the room during the murders. Inconvenient facts began to disappear. 3 years after the AB blood evidence was logged, the forensic lab issued a retraction, claiming the explosive finding of third-party blood was a typographical error. Witness testimonies shifted to fit the new timeline. The family's maid, Bharti Mandal, altered her description of the locked front door over multiple interviews, eventually adjusting her memory to align with the prosecution's case. The entire investigation became an exercise in reverse engineering, forcing fragmented, contaminated facts to fit a predetermined psychological narrative. While the physical evidence fell apart, a parallel courtroom operated on television screens. News channels hosted nightly debates, broadcast staged reenactments, and ran accusatory headlines that decided the parents' guilt before the trial concluded. This media spectacle generated immense social momentum, placing profound pressure on both the investigating agencies and the trial court to satisfy public expectations. In 2013, the special CBI court convicted Rajesh and Nupur Talwar, sentencing them to life imprisonment based on behavioral interpretations and assumed motive, rather than hard forensic proof. The conviction was secured because the systemic pressure of a media-driven storyline made any other outcome culturally unacceptable. In 2017, the Allahabad High Court comprehensively overturned the Talwars' conviction, acquitting them of all charges. the High Court issued a blistering rebuke of the state, condemning the failure to explore the third-party DNA, the coaching of witnesses, and the initial contamination of the crime scene. This judgment served as a formal, documented declaration of collective failure across the police, forensic labs, prosecution, and media. The devastation left in the wake of this exoneration is absolute. 2 parents lost years of their lives in prison while mourning their daughter, while systemic ineptitude ensured the real killer was never pursued. These failures point to an urgent need for reform. India still lacks codified statutory laws dictating strict crime scene preservation to prevent initial contamination. Forensic laboratories must operate independently of investigating bodies to ensure data is never manipulated to fit a theory. There must also be firm legal boundaries to curb media sensationalism during ongoing trials. The Aarushi Hemraj case warns us that when a criminal justice system is pressured and vulnerable, it will often choose to manufacture a compelling lie rather than admit the uncomfortable, unsolved truth.